Welcome back, everyone, to Sean's show. Thank you for joining us. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy you're here with us. We have a new producer. His name is Connor. Give it up, everyone. I did have to fire George. I had to call ICE. Not a lot of people know that about me, but I'm America First. And part of the America First agenda is cleaning house. We have to clean house in America. I had to clean house on Sean's show. So I got a new producer. His name is Connor. He is white. And that's the show. We're my first guest, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Fuentes, guys. Give it up for Nick. He's here with us to talk about the gym. Okay, kidding. Very good to be here. Lots to cover. This is Sean's show. If you're just your first time listening, we are the only comedy podcast, unsponsored and unprofitable. No, they're mostly unprofitable. We are the only comedy show where the host did not go to Riyadh. I did not go to Riyadh. Okay. I have no famous friends. I have a couple, but I'm doing my own thing. I am an independent comedy podcast. The only companies that I interact with are by force. YouTube, Spotify, I've to reach your ears. The only companies I interact with are the ones I need to interact with in order to reach your ears and your eyes. Do you understand? Okay. I don't stop. We are not a liquid death podcast. This is not a liquid death podcast where I'm going to talk to you about eating pussy. Okay. If you want to listen to a show where comedians talk about eating pussy and then sell you DraftKings, make you go to, guys, isn't eating pussy crazy? Go to DraftKings.com. We are not sponsored by DraftKings. DraftKings is not what we're doing here. We're not a liquid death DraftKings show. We are Mossad, Palantir. We are, we're Epstein. So, give it up for Connor, our new producer. He's going to be running things around here. Let's get right into it. Without further ado, we live in Sharia law. Yes. Guys, give it up for Mamdanistan is here. Mamdanistan, they're calling New York City, which I find hilarious. They're calling it Mamdanistan, which I think it's funny. It's also probably pretty racist. If you say it as a joke, if it's fine, but if you're saying it like in Staten Island, you probably mean it. You can say it in Brooklyn and laugh, but if you say Mamdanistan in Staten Island, you probably mean it. But we have a new president. This is a Freudian slip. We have a new mayor. The mayor, his name is Zoran Mamdani. Massive upset over pedophile Andrew Cuomo. Massive upset. Oh no, he's not a pedophile. Massive upset over sexual assaulter Andrew Cuomo and Vietnam war veteran Curtis Sliwa. I feel like Curtis Sliwa was involved in like every war. I feel like if you talk to Curtis Sliwa, I'd be like, the Civil War was crazy. Like that's how old he is. He'd be like, Civil War was crazy. I got shot with a musket in the Civil War. I was in a chair. I was on a horse and I got shot with a musket by the Brits. Vote for me. So this election, I think, was a surprise to no one. I think that it was pretty obvious that he was going to clinch the mayoral seat, and I think that generally, again, as a white guy, I'm happy. I'm happy. You have to be happy. I am happy. Did I vote? That's for you to decide. Obviously it's cool. I'm just cards on the table. We will make it funny, but it's going to be an interesting change. I will say that. I think that the time is now. The time is now for socialism. And I don't mean that ironically. I really, it's what this is I'm dancing around the bush. I'm terrified. I'm scared of this man. No, I don't know. Here's the thing. Zohran Mamdani, I wish him the best. I think that here's my hesitation. The reason for the hesitation in my voice is that, number one, I'm a elite centrist asshole, and I don't support any politician. I've always maintained that all politicians are scumbags, right? But it's easy to say that and be a straight white guy. Have you ever noticed that all the people that say that all politicians are scumbags are usually like straight white guys? It's like politics don't affect me. You know what I mean? The way that it affects other people. If I was a single black mom in the Bronx, I probably would feel differently about politics. Very different. Okay, so it's easy for me to step away from this election and just say everyone's full of shit, right? You know what I mean? Because I'm not on Snap. The things don't. I'm not touched as much. I was touched as a child, but nowadays I'm not touched like other people are. So I understand, and I'm self-aware enough to realize that. Okay, so generally I'm happy. I'm happy that he won. I think that it's going to be a very interesting next year because the expectations on Zohran Mamdani are like, they're impossible. You know, the expectations put. Here's the thing, though. Let me draw a little metaphor for you guys. New York City, the people of New York City, it's like a high maintenance girlfriend, like a really high maintenance girlfriend that's like, you know, you got to be on it. Like the voters and the people of New York, they have like Zohran Mamdani's promised the world, and you know, when you promise the world, you can't deliver on that. Okay? You cannot deliver on the world. Zohran Mamdani promised free buses. You know, he promised freezing the rent. He promised universal childcare. Now, if he can even deliver on one of those things, I'm going to be surprised. If he can even deliver on you know, keeping the children alive, that'll be exciting to me. You know what I mean? I mean, I wish him the best. I think it's time for a change. It is time for a change in New York City. I'm saying that as someone who's lived here for a year and a half. I am a New Yorker. I've lived here a year and a half. I am local. You ever notice how everyone that's criticizing him, you know, doesn't really, a lot of people that are criticizing Mamdani, they don't really live here. You know what I mean? And they don't live in New York. They live in Florida. They'll be like, oh, you know, New York's going to turn into a socialist shithole. It's already a capitalist shithole. It's already a shithole. People forget that, like, people forget about the status quo. You have to measure things against the now, okay? So when you go, Mamdani's going to turn it into, there's going to be bread lines and, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, look around. And I'm not a communist. I believe in capitalism. I like capitalism. I like the Fed. I like the Federal Reserve. I like the interest rate. I like quantitative easing. I like these things. I like Blackstone. Mamdani, and by the way, and here's the thing, Mamdani isn't going to, just because someone's critical of capitalism, it doesn't mean that they are in the Chinese Communist Party. And I think people have been abused by billionaires for so long that they're afraid to leave. Okay? That's the take. That is the take. America right now, we are like the abused girlfriend to the abusive billionaire boyfriend. And we've been together for decades. We don't know what life is like outside of that, you know? Outside of the billionaire daddy, you know, coming home after work and beating the shit out of you. That's all we know. And then when you come up to the girlfriend, which is America, and you go, "Hey, you want to try out you want to go on the bus for free?" No. It's like, try it. What's worse? What can be worse? What can be worse than like 3 men owning 50% of the wealth in America? Because that's where we are. Is it really communism to suggest, this is what Zoran is doing. He's saying, is it crazy to tax the 1% at a higher tax rate? Is that so crazy? Is it so crazy to think that maybe that we should redistribute the wealth a little bit? I don't think so. So, but we'll see what he does. Again, I don't think he's radical. I don't think he's crazy. I don't think he's suicidal. And that's why he will be. That's why he is a little bit of a threat. That's why he's a little bit of a threat. And the thing is, the billionaires are not leaving New York. The billionaires, they will not leave New York City. Do you know how long it takes to uproot and move a pedophile rape dungeon from Manhattan to Palm Beach? It takes a lot. The billionaires will not leave New York City because it takes a lot of manpower and intellectual effort to uproot your penthouse and move your piano from Manhattan to Palm Beach. It takes a lot. Okay, it's not that simple. You have to get a helicopter. You have to rent a helicopter. There's only like 4 helicopters that do the piano, that move the piano. Okay, so it's not that simple. And everyone wants to be in New York. Everyone wants to be in New York. Okay, I love it. So I'm happy. Let's scroll down a little bit. There's a paragraph that I do want to read, and I'm not trying to cast doubt on Mamdani before he even starts his job, because he hasn't even started the job yet. Let's keep going down. Excuse me, guys. Wow, I'm caffeinated. So I think it's like in the middle of the article. It's something about let's see. It's something about Blackstone, which, if you guys don't know, is one of the largest hedge funds / okay. So let me read you guys. And here's I just want to throw this out there. A lot of people, and this is why he's not that radical. And here's the thing. Mamdani's not actually that radical. In fact, he may not be radical enough, because he's already shown, that's the paragraph right there, he's already shown that he's willing to play ball with Wall Street. Let me read you this from the New York Times. Mr. Mamdani got busy. He asked Miss Wild, the head of the Partnership for New York City, which is an organization, I guess, for a list of every major business leader he should call, and began reaching out. This is from the New York Times. And began reaching out one by one, including, drumroll please, Larry Fink, the chief executive of BlackRock, and Hamilton E. James, the former head of Blackstone. So Mamdani has already been sitting down with Zoran Mamdani has already sat down with BlackRock and Blackstone, which, is, I don't know what, I mean, again, this is not a being a communist. If he was really a communist or a socialist or whatever people want to label him as, I don't think that he'd be sitting down with BlackRock. And here's the thing, and I'm pointing this out in the article, not because I'm trying to nitpick, because I mean, Zoran Mamdani is infinitely better than the other candidates. Does that mean I'm excited about a politician? No. Let's not get excited, because remember with Obama, he has Obama level hope. And the excitement and energy and the hope that we have for this guy, it's just no one is going to be able to achieve the goals that he set out to do. We all got excited about Obama, then he bailed out the banks. We all got excited about Barack Obama, and then he bailed out Wall Street. So just sit with that. Barack Obama bailed out Wall Street. Zoran Mamdani wants to freeze the rent, says he wants to freeze the rent, and then he meets with BlackRock. I don't think Mamdani wants to freeze rents. I think he wants to go to the BlackRock building. I think Zoran Mamdani, maybe he wants to freeze the rent. I also think he wants to have a double espresso in the BlackRock boardroom. Okay? I think, and speaking as someone who goes into a big building for work sometimes, goes into big buildings around Manhattan, it feels great. It feels fucking powerful to walk into a big ass fucking skyscraper in a suit. And that is really the cause of all of the suffering in the world. The cause of all suffering in the world is man's desire to be in a suit with a nice haircut and walk into a building in Manhattan and pound your fist on a table. That is the source of the suffering of the world. And it's these people that covet power. What is Zoran Mamdani doing sitting down with BlackRock? What does that conversation even look like? I mean, let's think about it. Zoran Mamdani sits down with Larry Fink at the BlackRock, in the BlackRock boardroom. Okay, maybe it was a Zoom call, but I'm going to assume it was in person. What does that even look like? Larry goes, Mommy, what's your name, Zoran? Zoran, you're not going to freeze the rent, are you? And Mamdani's like, that's the plan, Mr. Fink. That's the plan. You're not going to freeze the rent. And then you know what Larry Fink does? He slides a photo of Zoran Mamdani to himself in a rifle scope. And he says, "You're not going to freeze the rent." That's what goes on. It's blackmail. Then he goes to go Blackstone, and Hamilton James, who used to run Blackstone, he sits down with Blackstone, and then Hamilton's probably like, "Zoran, you realize if you freeze the rent, we can't make any money." And then he slides over. He's like, and by the way, just separately, why he puts this on the screen. He goes, why did you watch? Is this you watching child porn? Is this a video of you watching child porn? We could send this to them. Or you could, if you freeze the rent, maybe this comes out. I don't know. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, if you want to go to war with capitalism, step 0 isn't sitting down with fucking BlackRock. That is all I'm saying. But we wish him the best. We wish him the best. I don't ride the bus, so not really concerned about the bus fare. I have it like that. A lot of people, they ride the bus. I got it. I ride the subway. I do ride the bus. I rode the bus like last week, actually. So we wish him the best. We will see where the election goes. We'll see where his cabinet and we wish administration goes. So good luck, Zoran. Good luck. I will not be interviewing you ever. I will never interview a politician on this show for as long as I live. Knock on wood. Until I need the money. Until Connor says, "Hey, we need some more money." And I'm like, "All right, I'm calling up Mamdani." So, all right, what's next? Do we have the government shutdown? Let's talk about the government shutdown. The government is actually, one more. Speaking of Wall Street, should we watch let's watch this video about Jamie Dimon. I kind of want to watch Jamie Dimon reacting to Mamdani's election. And here's the thing.
From JP Morgan?
Yes. Our friend Jamie Dimon, the real leaders of New York. Let's hear from the real mayor of New York, Jamie Dimon, who is obviously a good guy, wants the best. Before we play the video, Jamie Dimon wants the best for everyone. Just remember, Jamie Dimon, he just wants everyone to win. He just wants everyone to make money. As long as you work at JP Morgan. He just wants everyone to make money. He doesn't want the government involved in his loans. Jamie Dimon, and I agree with him, why should the government be involved in, me packaging up mortgages and selling them to my friends. All I want to do, that's what Jamie Dimon's whole energy right now is he goes, I don't want, why are we electing a socialist? I just want to repackage loans and sell to my friends. That's all I want to do. You're going to get in, I just want to help the economy. All I want to do is repackage thousands and millions of mortgages and create a new financial product and then package that and sell it to my friends and make a lot of money. That's all I want to do. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just creating a financial nuke. All I want to do is make a financial nuclear bomb that will explode and destroy. All I want to do is recreate the 2008 financial crisis, and this guy wants to like get involved. So we'll see what our friend Jamie Dimon has to say about his election, because I think this is I want people to see how Wall Street is reacting.
Of America's biggest bank, Jamie Dimon. We're here in Detroit, where J.P. Morgan has invested billions of dollars. And one of the key businesses that helped revitalize this one bankrupt city was banking. And the big question tonight is what sort of relationship
Can you pause it, actually?
big business, which is at the core of capitalism.
If you're just listening, there was like some B-roll of Jamie Dimon like talking to this reporter. And I just imagine him being like, hey, my fucking Uber driver, this fucking guy didn't know where I was going. So I had his family killed. There's like B-roll, like make this quick. I gotta snort some Adderall. Let's jump to like minute 6. Let's get right into the meat. Something like that. That's probably fine.
Increased individual taxes at the high end. But in the context of what you've done here in Detroit, right? $2 billion that you've invested over the past
can you
12
pause
years.
it? By the way,
something...
it's empty. The building is empty. They're like, I sat down with Jamie Dimon, who invested billions of dollars in the city of Detroit. We're on this empty office floor because no one wants to work anymore. What do you think of that, Jamie? And then Jamie goes, if you don't go in the office 5 days a week, I'm going to have you shot. I will have you shot. That's what Jamie Dimon has gone on this, like, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, one of the world's largest investment banks, has gone on this campaign where he's basically saying, if you don't go to the office 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, my men will kill you. They will kill you and your family. If you take a Zoom call on a Tuesday because you couldn't afford childcare for your son because we don't pay you enough, I will have you murdered. And so he built this. They're sitting in his failure. They are literally, this reporter and Jamie Dimon are sitting on an empty floor of office. This empty office floor, this is where they take you when you don't do well in the New York JP Morgan office building. They go, hey, you better, if you only put in like 90 hours a week at JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon comes up to you and he goes, hey, I heard you only worked 90 hours last week. You want to explain that to me? And you go, well, Jamie, I'm sorry. My mom has cancer. I don't give a shit about your mom. You put in 100 hours next week, or I'll send your ass to Detroit. And what that means is you get sent to this empty office floor where he beats the shit out of you every day. Okay? It's an empty office floor. And by the way, they go, Jamie Dimon is investing in Detroit. Jamie Dimon's not investing in Detroit. His company is investing in Detroit. He's spending other people's money. If I spend my dad's money on the show, which I am, you think that's me investing in the show? No, it's not. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Let's keep watching.
Else last night that hits right here in this room where we're sitting, and I'll play that.
We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve.
Okay, so obviously I picked that for a specific reason. Detroit came back from bankruptcy and has passed, 11 consecutive balanced budgets under Mayor Duggan here.
It's empty.
The population here is growing for the first time in nearly 60 years. But the reason for all that, I would imagine you believe, is because the problem was too big for government to solve alone, right?
Yeah, I think, first of all, the government and business have to collaborate. If you just think one alone is going to fix the problem, you're probably not going to succeed. And government, and I'm not talking about the city government, government has to, they take your money, they should say what they took it for, what was the outcome. So we don't acknowledge that the inner city schools in New York aren't doing a good job for those kids. That's number one. I don't care if you're a union member, a parent, someone like me, we have a problem. Then you decide how to attack that problem. How do you get them the jobs and skills? And there are things that work. We learn things that work in Paris. We think things that work in Dallas. We think things that work in the aviation high school near Jackson Heights where I grew up. That's what I care about, is getting the policy right that actually matters, and that can help a city. Getting the policy wrong, it'll be a disaster. So, government, the heavy-handed government has failed at so many things, and and that we should acknowledge that.
Can we pause it?
When you look at America,
Okay.
and they look.
I'm so glad. Let me just point that out. Jamie Dimon said, the heavy hand of government has failed at so many things. Are you talking about the same government that bailed out your bank in 2008? Are you talking about the same government that literally stopped the entire financial industry from collapsing? You're talking about that government? That government is corrupt and bureaucratic, which it is, by the way. But this idea that, there's no bureaucracy at JP Morgan and there's no bureaucracy on Wall Street is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And mark my words, Jamie Dimon will run for president. The way that this guy is talking, he's going to run for president. He's not on CNN. He is on CNN to market himself for a run at the presidency, okay? Mark my fucking words. He's talking about, we need to get the school, he's talking about kids. He's like, we need to get the school, we need to fix the schools. Meanwhile, his bank creates the conditions that make those schools bad. Hey, Jamie Dimon, you know what would really help the inner city schools is if you shut down JP Morgan. You know what would really help the inner city schools get a leg up in the economy is if you didn't build massive skyscrapers that basically made the rents impossibly expensive for anyone within a 5-mile radius of the skyscraper. There's this massive new building that JP Morgan just opened, and it's like the Eye of Sauron. This new building in New York, the JP Morgan HQ, it's the Eye of Sauron. If you look at it, they literally have like the fucking eye, and it's like looking at you as you get your $7 matcha latte. Actually, it's free now thanks to Mamdani. I mean, it's not. If the matcha lattes aren't free, then we don't live in socialism yet. Until I can go to Starbucks and get a Java chip frappuccino with 2 shots of added espresso, we do not, for free, we do not live in socialism. Okay? So, let's move on. I get this guy's face out of my eyesight. Jamie Dimon is a scumbag. Jamie Dimon is a fucking scumbag. And so is Mamdani. Everyone that covets power is a scumbag. You are a bag of scum. I'm sorry. Andrew Cuomo, scumbag. Bernie Sanders, I'm saying crazy shit today. Bernie Sanders, scumbag. I'm sorry. Not all scumbags are equal. Not all scumbags are created equal, but you are. If you go and you run for office, think about what these people are actually doing. They ran for office. Imagine talking to someone and they go, have you ever met someone that's running for office? They're insufferable. I've never met anyone I've seen on LinkedIn. Like, I see people on LinkedIn like, hi, I'm Gen Z and I'm running for my local office. Literally kill yourself. Hi, I want to enact change locally. No, you don't. You want to go to a Michelin star restaurant and use a credit card funded by the taxpayer, yours truly. So that's what you want. You don't want to be a community organizer. Okay? You want to go on the Daily Show. Everyone just wants to go. And that's why you can trust me. I don't give a fuck about the Daily Show. I don't give a fuck about SNL. I don't care about being an NBC employee. I do not want to be an NBC employee. They will not return my phone calls. I will not be an NBC employee. You want to know why? Because, and you know, you can't even run for office because the government is shut down. It's the longest, I believe it's the longest shutdown in history, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to think about that this is the longest government shutdown in American history. And it makes me think maybe it won't open up. I don't know. People say it's not going to reopen. I think it's going to reopen. I'm not that concerned yet. But it's getting bad. It's getting to the point where there might be a story in there about like air traffic controllers that we could cover. So and I mean that's where I don't know. I'm kind of, you know, the government's been shut down for like a while. I'm getting a little concerned. Maybe it's bad. Maybe something is breaking. Maybe something isn't working. Is that crazy to say that the airports, the air traffic controllers are committing suicide? They're not. I don't know. They will. Their air traffic. So because the government shut down, you can't fly anywhere. The FAA, thousands of flights are expected to be canceled according to a preliminary list of affected airports. Seattle, Portland, no one wants to go there anyway, but that's fine. Boston, the whole fucking country. Honolulu, the whole country. Thousands of flights canceled. And, you know, these air traffic controllers are, can you scroll down a little bit? I mean, it's like the air traffic controllers that are expected to just like, I think, work without pay. I mean, they haven't been paid. I don't know, you know, I really want to emphasize, I don't know why I'm so interested in the job of air traffic controller. Maybe it's because in another universe, like I'm the autistic guy that like got that job. Like, you know, like it's fun, it's fast paced. And if you mess it up, people die. That's something that interests me. And you know, it's better to not know how planes work like that. And that's the sad thing is you can't really go back. Once you like listen to an interview with an air traffic controller, it's pretty much, it's gonna terrify you. And because the systems that they're operating on are like so antiquated and they can't upgrade them because the government shut down in politics and mostly Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan basically like ruined air traffic control. I think he fired 16,000, like he went to war. And that's what Republican presidents, what they do is they become president and then they just go to war with the employees of the government that are just like doing a job that we need to be done. There's another so all these flights are getting fucked. All these flights are being canceled. International flights are not being affected yet, but it's, you know, it's getting bad. It's getting very bad. Oh boy, guys, this is Capital One calling me. Should I answer? I kind of want to. You know what? Let's do it. Hello? What the fuck? Did he know? Maybe he's rolling. So can you let's see. Okay, here we go. Air traffic controllers warn of a tipping point. That's not good. As the U.S. government shutdown drags on. So listen to this. This is because this is scary. Can you scroll up a little bit here? So just to set this up. Just like the first paragraph there. The FAA was forced to delay flights across the U.S. because of government staffing because of staffing shortages at dozens of air traffic control facilities, making for one of the most difficult days to fly since the government shutdown began 5 weeks ago. What you're seeing is a lot of people who are truly having to call in sick and go earn money elsewhere, said one air traffic controller who works in the Midwest and handles high altitude traffic. I think you're also seeing people who are just calling in sick because they're fed up and they're like, well, I'm going to spend the holiday weekend with my kids for one. That's kind of sad. They really do live a sad life. This is like they're like, hey, the government shut down. Maybe I should repair my marriage. You know, the government shut down. The air traffic controllers like, the government this is like a historic government shutdown. Maybe I should eat my wife's box. Maybe it's time to eat my wife's pussy again. Wow, there I go. I ended up talking about pussy.
We have a video of the air traffic controllers driving YouTube from TikTok. You want me to pull that up?
Yes, let's watch the Uber driver one.
Yes.
Okay, I think you're muted. I can't hear you. Or maybe it's just me.
Should be going through.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this video. So, this is scary. This should scare all of you. We're gonna watch what it's like to be an air traffic controller these days.
Discussed with my family how I will probably have to start driving Uber or DoorDash. Second jobs are a real thing with a lot of controllers right now. You know, it's already inherently a stressful job. You know, we have to be 100% right 100% of the time. And we do a really good job of training everybody from the ground up how to mitigate that stress and leave it at the door. But, you know, as many others have said, financial stress is one of the worst things you can have, right? And when you start introducing that into a controller's head, now it's kind of becoming real, and they can't put that at the door. They're going to have to start thinking about that and making the tough decisions with their family as to, how do I put food on the table? How do I pay my electric bill? How do I put gas in my car to go to work? Stuff like that. There's definitely going to be a breaking point to which...
I mean, I would say, you know what I say to that? It's time to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Zach. Hey, Zach, have you ever thought about day trading? Hey, Zach, so you have to drive Uber because your air traffic control job stopped paying you. Have you ever tried getting your money up? Have you ever tried being a real man and locking in? This is the solutions that are given to young men. Young men, you know, are getting fucked. Not just men, but the whole Gen Z, Gen Alpha. They're coming into a workforce where AI is taking their jobs. And all these companies are doing massive layoffs because they think that an AI can't even write an email very well. Actually, it can do that. It can do a lot of stuff, but it cannot. Honestly, maybe it's not a bubble. We'll get to the AI bubble. But young people are coming into probably the worst job market in history, and the solutions that are being told to them are, you know, from boomers and millennials that have done quite well. Is not millennials, boomers. They go, well, just get your money up. And there's a small fraction of Gen Z and Gen Z and Gen Alpha that are doing very well, and they're like, oh, I just start. Have you looked into crypto? Have you looked into doing swing trading? Have you looked into swing trading options? Have you looked into drop shipping? That would be my recommendation for every air traffic controller out there, and you're struggling to pay your rent and you're driving Uber because you can't because you're getting furloughed and you're not getting a paycheck. I would say look into drop shipping Supreme merch. You know Supreme, the brand Supreme? I would look into ways that you can buy Supreme merchandise and then flip it on the internet. Have you tried to go on TikTok Live? Everyone, you know, for the people that got laid off recently, have you experimented with content? You know, for people that are like, for like the single mom, for every single mom out there that just got laid off and the government shut down and the SNAP benefits are done and you're looking at an empty bank account, let me ask you one question. How many times a day are you posting on TikTok? How often are you making content? Are you engaging with your audience, or are you just doing what you think that you should post? Are you posting your true authentic self into the ether? Are you giving your entire soul to this dystopian tech bubble ecosystem, or are you just pretending to do that? You need to authentically submit your will and your life force to big tech, or you don't make any money. We are sponsored by Supreme. Supreme is the #1 brand for fuckboys and rapists worldwide. You want to add? I have an ad I want to do. Yeah, unfortunately we do have an ad. I have an official sponsor. Our first sponsor for the show is Supreme. Hey there, audience. Do you want to advertise to the whole world that you rape? Get Supreme. Buy some. Get a hat. Get a hat that says Supreme. Hey, do you want to advertise to the world that you beat the piss out of your girlfriend when she talks back to you? Get a Supreme hat. Do you want to advertise to the world that you don't actually that you don't got it? Get Supreme. If you don't have it, you have Supreme. If you don't have it, get Supreme. There's this incredible TikTok video where there's a guy who's flexing all these diamonds that he has. It's probably a sketch. And then this other guy has a diamond detester. And he tests the diamonds, and the diamonds are all fake. And he goes, you do not have it. You do not have it. So if you do not have it, what you need to do is get a Supreme hat. Supreme is like one of those brands where I'm like, you know, it's one of those brands where I'm like, how on earth, you know, props. I mean, just they've tapped into something. I don't know what it is. They've tapped into a, you know, there's this ethereal thing that you can tap into. But going back to the air traffic controllers, I would say make content, drop ship. Okay. What you shouldn't do is, you know, I mean, what we're headed towards, we're headed towards a Breaking Bad type situation where there's going to be an air traffic controller. This is a deep cut. I'm sorry. This is a show for autistic people. If you don't remember, there was an episode in Breaking Bad where a father, it was Jane's dad. Basically, here's what's the only way the government's going to reopen is if we have a Breaking Bad type situation where, remember in Breaking Bad, Jane's dad was an air traffic controller in Albuquerque. And when he found out that his daughter Jane overdosed on, I think heroin or meth, he had to go to work because you just have to go to work as an air traffic controller. And he was so, you know, mentally fucked up from his daughter dying, overdosing, that in the show, a plane crash happened. A massive, devastating plane crash happened. So here's the photo. This is great. He goes, Jane, Mike, 21, turn, heading, disregard. Okay? The way this is unfortunately, what's going to happen is we're going to have a situation like this in real life where an air traffic controller, here's what's actually going on in America, which is fucking scary. There's an air traffic controller out there somewhere who just did a 12-hour Uber shift. Okay? And he did his last Uber drop off. Okay? 3 drunk white bitches going, yes. You know, throwing up in his car. He finishes that 12-hour shift. And then he goes to his air traffic control job, tired. And they probably go, hey, you look like you didn't get that much sleep. Are you good to go? And then he lies and he goes, yeah, I'm good to go. And he lies. Then he goes into that shift. And then 2 hours into that shift, he pulls a Jane's dad. Sweating, going, Uber, make sure to leave me 5 stars on, 21. He's going, he goes, this is the air traffic controller situation right now. Delta flight 2112. You're good. You're good to go on runway 41. Leave me 5 stars on. I really have sympathy for these guys. I really do. Because, and you know what? Jamie Dimon would like to privatize, and that's why socialism isn't that bad. Jamie Dimon wants to privatize. I don't actually know if this is true, but capitalists, I'm using Jamie Dimon as an example. Capitalists, they would like to Elon Musk. These guys would, if they had it their way, air traffic control towers would be privatized, and you would actually have to pay the tower. That would be baked into the ticket price. And the 2 air traffic control towers would be like, it'd be like some bullshit like T-Mobile and fucking Verizon. Imagine if T-Mobile ran the air traffic control towers. You know how this is from a while ago. Here we go. Privatizing air traffic control by Chris Edwards. Advocating for it. Let's listen to the arguments. The FAA operates the nation's air traffic control system. It regulates and provides grants to the airports. The agency has a $16 billion budget and 45,000 employees. Now, as a capitalist, I read that and I think, well, how can we do the exact same quality job with like 45 people? Can we cut that number from 45,000 down to 45? How about like a few guys? What if we had like one guy running the entire nation's airports? In recent decades, many nations have partly or fully separated the ATC system from their governments. Oh, wow. In 1996, Canada moved its air traffic control to a private, nonprofit corporation. That reform, I don't know. This guy's saying that it's good. Shorter flight times, fewer delays, lower fuel costs, and more death. More explosions. Here's the thing. If we privatize air traffic control, flights will be cheaper. There'll be less bureaucracy. And your sister will burn to death. Burn to death in a jet fuel on a tarmac in Albuquerque. So that's the choice you have to make. And this is, I'm focusing on the air aviation industry, but it applies to everything. There's no perfect system. Either you have a Zoran Mamdani type system where, you have to wait in line for an hour, but you can get your bread for pretty cheap. Or you have the capitalist system where you can get your bread immediately, okay? But you need to sell your blood plasma. That's pretty. So either you sell your blood plasma and celebrate the free market, or you wait in line a little bit. And yeah, no one likes to wait in line. I don't like waiting in line. And that's the thing, is waiting in line is communist. Actually, it's very capitalist too. But let's move on. I'm bored of aviation. It's just scary. But that's what it's going to take. We're going to need a Jane's Dad type crash for people to go, oh, fuck. This is if you're just listening, this is, God, I rewatched the show, Reese. I love Breaking Bad. It's my comfort show. Because it was the only time in my life that I was happy. Kidding. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the government. What's next, Connor? We have Mamdani. We have the government shutdown. What do I have next on my list of wonderful?
Microsoft forms superintelligence team. Lindsey Graham's speech.
Lindsey Graham. We have. Sorry, this is a lot of videos. Lindsey Graham. Let's watch. This is crazy. This is a crazy. So I guess Lindsey Graham was at I think like the Jewish Republican bar mitzvah or something like that, which is good. That's fine with me. He was at I believe it was some sort of conference for Jewish Republicans, and it's called the Republican Jewish Coalition. I was at this, by the way. Obviously, look at my nose, look at me, look at my policies. And Lindsey Graham was doing a little podcast. So let's listen to his little podcast clip.
I just want to make it really clear, I'm in the Hitler sucks wing of the Republican Party.
What year is it?
What is this Hitler shit? I don't know. Anyway, here's what I do know. You can sit in a basement with weird people and say weird things. It's a free country, right?
That's what you do,
But
asshole.
if you ever run for office as a Republican and you embrace this weird shit, we're going to beat your brains out. He recognized Jerusalem as capital of Israel. Why?
Why?
Because if you got a problem with that, take it up with God. He's the guy that did it, not Trump. So I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes.
Crazy.
And I just want to make it really clear, I'm in.
Crazy to be like, look, I don't know what's the deal with all this Hitler shit. I will say I'm in the Hitler sucks part of the Republican Party. Number one, I don't know what the deal is with all these Republicans starting to love Hitler. I don't love Hitler. I hate him. Number two, I think our party's killing all the right people. What kind of party are we that we suddenly realize that, hey, we need to get back to our roots, and hey, we should be genociding the Arabs. I don't know what people in this party starting to love Hitler like they killed all. That's a Holocaust. We got to get back to our roots. Going to Afghanistan. Remember when we went to Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran? We need to be doing that again. Killing all the right people and cutting your taxes. Also, I mean, just to it's an incredibly unbelievable thing to say into a microphone. And I know I'm a hypocrite because I say some pretty crazy things into a microphone. But guess what? I'm not a senator at a 501c3 coalition dinner. Okay? I'm not at a gala. It's incredible to me that our friend of the show, Lindsey Graham, would say, we're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes. Also, no, you're not. I pay a tremendous, even under a socialist regime like Mamdani, I'm still paying a tremendous amount of tax. I'm going to pay more. I don't know. I'm numb. I'm like so numb. I'm so numb to this kind of shit that I'm like, 10 years ago, this would be like national news. If Lindsey Graham said this 10 years ago, it would be like a national story about Lindsey Graham saying, we're killing all the right people. By the way, can I ask one question? Who are the right people to kill? Killing all the right people. Who are the right people to kill? He would say, well, terrorists, of course. Venezuelan, we're bombing Venezuelan terrorists on boats that are bringing fentanyl into our country. Oh, yeah? How'd you know they have fentanyl? Also, since when do we just give people that traffic drugs the death penalty on a boat? I mean, look, I'm not saying that like I said last week, I misspoke last week. I said that the boats were random. I was like, it's crazy that this government's killing random boats in the ocean. They're not random. Okay? They are specifically chosen because they are Venezuelan. Okay? These boats are not random. We have satellite imagery that shows and proves that the people on the boats are of Venezuelan nationality, which gives us the right to murder them. Does that make sense? I want to clear it up. I said something last week that was wrong. I said that it's wrong that the government, that we're just summarily executing people on boats, and they're just random boats. The boats are not random. The boats have Venezuelans on them. So they are allowed to be killed because they are Venezuelan. Because we're a country, remember, that kills people based on their race. And I'm not retarded. I understand that they probably had barrels of fentanyl on them, okay? But just since when did we live in a country where there's nothing more American than putting a barrel of fentanyl on a boat and fucking gunning it to Florida? That is the most, and we're going to kill those people? We should be making those people, we should make those people the presidential cabinet. We have it all wrong. This administration has it all wrong. We should not be killing people that are trying to, go to our country with fentanyl. That's an entrepreneur. That to me is an entrepreneur. Okay? That's a boat of entrepreneurs that you just murked, Mr. Trump, Mr. Secretary of Defense, whose name I forget, Kash Patel. Who is the Secretary of... Hegseth? Pete Hegseth? Our country is so backwards right now that we would bomb a boat of entrepreneurs that were just trying to make some bread. Pete Hegseth, how dare you? How dare you bomb a boat of 5 to 10 young, scrappy men, and all they wanted to do was flip $1 into 2 and flip 2 to 4. So is it really that bad to traffic fentanyl into Florida? Is it? Let me just, and you think, well, yeah, it is. It's actually not. Because if you get addicted to fentanyl, it's your fault. No, if you're a Republican, here's the backwards thing. They go, fentanyl is such this huge issue in America, and we have to protect Americans from the scourge of fentanyl. I thought you didn't want to be involved in Americans' lives. I thought you were about limited government. So sounds like socialism. There's really nothing more socialist than, so they're all mad. The Republicans are mad that Mamdani, the socialist, is the mayor of New York. And then 2 hours later, they go into a Zoom call and they go, yeah, nuke the Venezuelan boat. That to me is socialism. That to me is government intervention. You want to talk about government intervention? It's nuking a boat, a little boat with some barrels. You know what I want to do? I want to get a boat, and I want to get like 5 or 6 blue barrels. I want to get a speedboat. I'm going to get a speedboat. I'm going to put blue barrels on the speedboat, and I'm going to go on the speedboat, and I'm going to fucking gun it to Venezuela at 120 knots per minute, whatever the metric is. And I'm going to see if I get blown up. Okay? To prove a point. I won't send myself. And that's the thing. Do you think, let's really take a step back. I want to know what goes on in Venezuela. I want to know, so it's all the guys involved in the fentanyl operation. That's got to be an awkward, that's got to be an awkward conversation. Imagine you're in Venezuela and you're in the cartel and there's like 10 guys and they're like, and they know that the boats have been getting fucked. Imagine, here's the thing. Maybe, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Maybe the people that are on these boats that they're slingshotting from Venezuela to Florida with barrels of fentanyl, maybe they don't want to be on the boat. I don't think that they want to be on that boat. I think, we have a video. I mean, here's the thing. People in Venezuela, people are not stupid. People understand that the government has been destroying these boats. So do you think that anyone wants to go on the boat? Maybe they're even going under the threat of violence. So, and then we just kill them. But don't worry, they were narco-terrorists. Or maybe it was maybe it was a young kid. Maybe it was a younger guy who was trying to get his money up. I really, really am so sad that we just killed these guys on these boats that were just trying to get their fucking money up. God forbid a Venezuelan narco-terrorist get a little motion. God forbid a 22-year-old Venezuelan narco-terrorist have a little motion. We can't let that happen. Let's watch this video. So the U.S. attacked a second Venezuelan boat, killing 3. The footage, which Trump posted online, has not been independently verified. That's always good. Trump said the boat was headed to U.S. and linked it to drug trafficking cartels. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy to just hit a boat. No trial, no nothing. They're narco terrorists. If they'll kill narco terrorists summarily, without trial, they'll kill you summarily. They'll kill you summarily. Okay? And that's the sad reality. Wow. What else we got, Connor? We got I think there's more on there. Microsoft.
We've got the Microsoft stuff, and then we have Palantir, Alex Karp.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little bit of Palantir, and then we're gonna wrap it up. But we're gonna talk about Palantir more on the Patreon. I have what's called No Soul, so I will be partnering. I've partnered with Patreon. I've partnered with Supreme. I've also partnered with Patreon. You can buy the Supreme if you want to advertise that you rape. I mean, whenever I see a guy in Supreme, I'm like, that guy rapes. You just feel it. Don't you feel it? Don't you feel it when you see a guy in a Supreme hat? You're like, you're a fucking scumbag. You hate women, and you hate men, and you hate yourself, and you hate America.
There's one other story on here. Fentanyl-laced urine sprayed over.
Oh, yeah, that is Palantir. Okay, we'll close on. So this is from a while ago, but I want to. So just so you know, so I'm doing a new thing. If you're listening now, my one of my 15 listeners who I love dearly, I have a Patreon, and I know I've been saying that I'm bringing the Patreon back, and I haven't delivered on that because I'm a liar. I'm finally delivering. So this week, if you go to the Patreon, I will be doing a separate episode where I cover the Palantir earnings call featuring Alex Karp. So we will be doing a deep dive into Palantir, into Peter Thiel, into Alex Karp, into the things that I know you want to listen to, okay? Because it's they are, this is only going to continue to explode and evolve and devolve. So check out the Patreon where I will be doing a deep dive into Palantir. But with that out of the way, let's take a look and do a little update, and then we'll close it out. So Alex Karp. So the earnings just came out. So here are the latest updates. If you guys are unfamiliar with Palantir, it's basically the U.S. government's surveillance arm. That's what it is. Palantir is the NSA, DOD, DARPA, ICE, FBI, whatever you want to call it, CIA. It is their privatized Gestapo surveillance company that they're using to spy on everyone, deport, janitor moms in LA. This is what they do. This is what they're doing. And so their CEO is a great guy, obviously. Naturally, the CEO of Palantir, great guy, very reasonable. He said some very reasonable things. And I just want to play for you a video of him being very reasonable. And this is him. This is him talking about the recent earnings. And let's give it a little listen. This is him talking about By the way, before I get into it, a short seller is just someone that's betting that a stock is going to go down. Okay, that's all it is. So let's take a little look here. You're good. It's
sellers attacking what I believe is clearly the most important software company in America, and therefore in the world in terms of our impact, simply to make money and trying to call the AI revolution into question, where we have this anomalous numbers, 114, rule of 40, et cetera. It just is super triggering because these people, they could pick on any company in the world. They have to pick on the one that actually helps people, that actually has made money for the average person, that is actually supporting our warfighters. Why do they have to go after us? And I'll tell you what, though, it's crazy motivating, because I'll tell you why the short sellers are constantly getting screwed by Palantir. Because every time they short us, we just are like tripling down on getting the better numbers, and part, honestly, to make them poorer. But okay, so the question of like the actual power of the business and what is it worth? I mean, at the end of the day, one of the things that is actually in the book, the biography, and that I actually think you always have to ask is the person persuasive or are they right? And across all sorts of movements, political, I mean, you see this on the regressive part of the Democratic Party. We're about to probably have a complete disaster. I was born in New York. But if you actually said, do these things actually work? Everyone's like, of course I'm not going to vote for that. But instead they ask, does it work in theory? The theoreticians, you have to ask, how often have you been right? And Palantir is about pragmatic decisions that create unfair advantages for America and its allies. And on that, we've been right for almost 20 years on all major decisions. And I believe we'll be right going.
So he goes, look, you can talk about theory all day you want. Palantir, we are a pragmatic company. We ask the question that everyone's wondering, which is, how can we go into Koreatown and break up a family legally? You know, people have all these theories about, is it constitutional? Do we need, what about the Fourth Amendment? The Founding Fathers, all this theoretical bullshit about your rights. What we do at Palantir is we go, hey, let's just be practical. What if we created a software platform that subverted democracy? That sounds very practical to me. Alex Karp, who's the CEO of Palantir, who you just heard from, is an absolute psychopath. And I will literally die. I will probably be murdered by a whistleblower. I will be murdered by this. I will be murdered by OpenAI. The new, how that old meme that goes, Connor's terrified. He's like, fuck, I shouldn't have. This is not worth the money. OpenAI, there's this meme that goes around where it's like, the highest award in journalism is to be murdered by the CIA. The highest award in comedy podcasting is to be murdered by OpenAI. That is the highest award that I will be looking forward to receiving someday. Until that day, whether it be OpenAI or Palantir, Alex Karp is a murderous, I'm going to say crazy, what's the word? Psychopathic? Annoying? He's annoying. He's insufferable. He is hard to listen to. He has gray hair. He is unfashionable. And, a shill for the military-industrial complex. He has no soul. He is a husk of a person. And he truly is an instrument in the United States plunging into fascism. Alex Karp is the weapon. Alex Karp and Palantir are creating the sword of fascism. They've also made me extremely wealthy, and for that I'm very grateful. I bought Palantir at 20, and God, don't short this stock. You will not win if you short this stock. Who knew that designing the sword of fascism would be profitable? I had no idea. And that's the thing is, like, Alex Karp thinks he's a fucking genius because he created a surveillance software. You're not a genius. You just have no morals. You have no soul. Any fucking retard can go, hey, what if I built a software that let ICE deport single moms in Koreatown? That doesn't make you a genius. You think it makes you a genius to create, and I could go on for hours, and I will on the Patreon. So what's exciting, the reason that I'm talking about it is the very fine gentleman, Michael Burry, who shorted the housing market in 2008, has come back around, ladies and gentlemen. He has come back around, and guess what company he has decided to bet against? Our two favorite companies that I've talked about since day one of Sean's show, Palantir and NVIDIA. Michael Burry is betting against Palantir, and my pants are just filled with cum. My pants are filled with jizz because I'm so happy. And he's not shorting it. And Michael Burry isn't betting against Palantir because he thinks it's unethical. He thinks it's overvalued. And that's the sad thing about America, is that like the best we can hope for is a guy that bets against Palantir, not because they contract with ICE, not because they're helping facilitate a genocide in Gaza, but because he thinks it's worth too much money. And so Alex Karp comes out and he's like, of all the companies you should, he's grandstanding as if he's this moral, Alex Karp. Here's the crazy thing about Palantir. Alex Karp thinks he's on the moral high ground with his surveillance state, panopticon, Deus ex machina insanity. He's creating the weapon of fascism, and then people bet against his company, and he's like, of all the companies you could bet against, I don't understand why don't you bet against a company but we're saving America. Of all the companies you could bet against, you're betting against the one that's making people rich? Yeah, actually, yeah. Can we go to the fentanyl-laced urine video, which is just an amazing video? And these people need, I just can't make sense of it. We have to listen to Alex Karp. This is the Palantir CEO talking about people that are betting against his company, and it's just an incredible sentence. And by the way,
you need
let's listen to that. Let's go.
Higher purpose, and I also think you often need a lower purpose. Like the higher purpose for me.
What's a lower purpose?
Well, I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl-laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us. So that's my lower purpose. And, and others. But the higher purpose for me was to get this nation to be the preeminent power in the world, because whatever faults we have, they're nothing like anyone else's. You need a higher.
What an unbelievable sentence. My lower purpose. You need to have ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, you need to have two purposes. You have to have a lower purpose, and you have to have a higher purpose. And I couldn't agree more with Alex Karp here. His lower purpose, he said, is to get a bunch of drones and fill them with fentanyl-laced urine and spray fentanyl. Listen, I mean, the imagery of that is insane. He literally said that people that don't believe in his company, he wants to spray them with fentanyl-laced urine. You know what that will do? That will kill you. Fentanyl-laced, fentanyl. Remember from earlier? Remember how didn't we just bomb a bunch of, wait a minute. Didn't the US government just kill a bunch of people that were trying to bring fentanyl into America? Didn't we just kill those people? So the narco-terrorists that bring fentanyl from Venezuela deserve the death penalty. But Alex Karp, who wants to spray fentanyl on you, If you disagree with him, he's an American hero. He's a valiant soldier defending America. So it's rules for thee and not for me. I get to use the fentanyl because I am a CEO. If I want to spray fentanyl urine on you, it's my prerogative. These fucking guys from Venezuela, they want to bring fentanyl to America. How are you going to get the fentanyl-laced urine without? That's what I'm saying. We live in a global economy. You need the guys from Venezuela. How are you going to get the fentanyl? Also, this is an admission that Alex Karp engages with people that know fentanyl. How? I mean, fentanyl is a felony, by the way. By the way, having fentanyl, buying, selling, possessing fentanyl is a felony. But he wants to like acquire it and put it in urine. Whose urine? I'm so deeply concerned with this man. I'm deeply concerned with his values. So that's his lower purpose. His lower purpose is spray fentanyl-laced urine on you if you disagree with his company and what they do. And his higher purpose is to make the United States the preeminent superpower hegemony. His lower purpose, spray fentanyl on America. His higher purpose, make America great again. That's pretty much what he's going for. So how is he going to make America great again? Spraying fentanyl-laced. Where is this fentanyl-laced urine going to be sprayed? Hopefully at JP Morgan. It's pathetic. This guy needs to be he needs to be investigated. Can we investigate Alex Karp's Google search history? Can we investigate his search history? And people will come back at me and say, well, Sean, obviously he was joking. Obviously he doesn't actually want to spray fentanyl-laced urine on people. Okay. Fine. He can joke just like I can joke. We can all joke. It's crazy. So, but the company is starting to go down. It's been down in the last 3 days. I'm very happy to see Palantir at least dip in the medium term. Hopefully the company fails. We'll see. But it's part of this larger AI bubble. And this AI bubble, the AI bubble I think is real. You basically have 7 companies that are doing deals with each other to create the illusion of growth. You know, every day, that's how I know that AI is a real bubble. Every day there's a new deal. OpenAI is going to do a deal with NVIDIA. Microsoft is doing a deal with OpenAI. Oracle selling chips to NVIDIA. NVIDIA selling chips to Alex Karp. Benson Boone is involved. The moment Benson Boone gets involved, that is like the moment in The Big Short when he goes, "It's a bubble." Remember the Big Short when the guy is like, "Hey, it's a bubble. Short everything." That is what's happened. That moment in the OpenAI in the AI bubble life cycle is the moment you see celebrities. The moment that Sabrina Carpenter gets on Instagram and starts talking about NVIDIA, that is the moment you buy guns and butter. The moment Sabrina Carpenter makes a reel and she goes, "Yeah, LLMs, I think they're a really great idea." That is when you buy guns and butter and water. Okay? That is the moment where the US dollar is not going to be worth anything anymore. The moment celebrities start talking about this shit is when it becomes and we're right there. We're right there. The moment Benson Boone is like, "Have you guys heard of this company called Palantir?" The moment that happens, you got to run, buddy. You got to run. But I think that's it for the show, you guys. I think this was fun. You know, we're getting our feet wet. Are gonna continue the show on the Patreon, where I will cover the full earnings call with Alex Karp. And I hope you enjoyed. SeanReillyComedy.com. I'm gonna be in Dallas and San Antonio doing comedy coming up. Do we get to everything, Con? I think we did, right? I think we got to everything.
Yeah, just the Microsoft Super Team.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's AI.
I think we got everything. Mamdani, we are wishing you luck. The U.S. government, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Air traffic, don't fly. Don't fly. Please don't fly. That's all I'm saying. And in conclusion, just make sure you buy some Palantir because it's cheap right now. Okay? So we'll see you in the Patreon. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Bye.